Welcome back, Speed Gaming fans. We are here at the finale of the Super Metroid Randomizer Mystery Tournament. Game 1 taken by mm2, Game 2 taken by Kipp. This is the deciding Game 3. We'll see if the randomizer will give us some different settings. We've had full countdown area randomization to seed, which is some insane percentage that I have not the power nor the will to calculate at this moment, but, yeah, got exciting series, 2 really good runners. Pretty evenly matched thus far. It was, like, minute and a half in game 1 and, like, what, 3, 4 minutes in game 2. Um, Also failed to mention thus far, and I meant to shout out the one runner who actually beat both of them in Swiss rounds, which was Nevdi. Shoutouts to Nevdi.
I believe Nevdi is. I don't know exactly when. I think it's scheduled, but we'll be playing for the winners finals position in the Map Rando tournament, which is also going on right now for the S2 Live online. But yeah, this is the final race of the Dash Mystery Tournament. I think Game 2 went pretty similar to Game 1, where I think both runners played really well, but Kipp was able to route things a little bit more efficiently. Both runners did have a little bit of struggles in Lower Norfair, though, so the best of series might be getting to them a little bit. But we'll see how they're able to handle the pressure of the last race ever.
That's right.
We aren't seeing full countdown. Good news.
Different start, both non-full countdown, and we got a starter charge for us. So we're already quite different as far as how these things could go. But yeah, but these series can get long. Frankly, I think full countdown is probably the hardest thing to run 3 in a row. But switching off of it might be equally as challenging, frankly. We'll see what we end up getting.
Well, doesn't give us any information yet, but I think that's... Actually, no, Morph was vanilla in Game 1. It was Game 2 that it was super there.
Yep.
Interestingly, both of these runners opt to get the other item first before going down to Alpha Missile. So we do see an E-Tank. We still don't know exactly what the seed has in store for us.
Yep. Pretty good indication that it's likely Major Minor, but of course in Chozo that can be an E-Tank. And there's a very, very slight chance that this item down here at Alpha Missile will give us the information. It could be bombs or screw attack, and that would tell us Chozo. But even in Chozo, that's pretty unlikely. So we're likely just going to be in a little bit of, once again, a power bombless start. We're going to have to climb for the 3rd straight game. But we're in a little bit of an ambiguous situation where it's likely to be Major Minor, but it is not guaranteed.
Yeah, so once again, we don't get to check meme route early. 3 seeds in a row. So we are once again headed to Bomb Torizo, see if we get our bomb breaking item, or bomb block breaking item there.
And it was, the super was specifically at Alpha Missile, right?
Yes. So if it is Chozo, then that's the item they have in logic.
Yeah, I was just thinking, if we don't get a bomb breakable item like last seed, that would confirm area. But because the super was in the Chozo spot, that even wouldn't confirm Major Minor versus Chozo. Or if the minors were switched, it could confirm things. So actually a pretty decent chance we're going to be ambiguous for a while. Obviously a power bomb here exactly confirms Chozo very easily, but that's the only thing that confirms Chozo right now.
Yeah, we'll see what we find. Who misses the door. Whoops. It's Grapple Beam, so...
We've got area, 3 out of 3.
And we are still ambiguous. There's nothing else in criteria to check. So we're just headed over to the portal.
Yes, indeed. So... I don't actually know if Kipp has played any Chozo area thus far in the playoffs. I know his series with Farfalu was all Major Minor I know we got 2 vanilla maps in the last round against Nick player. Beamer, I don't recall Chozo, and then his first series was async, so I really don't know about that one. But I know M2's last round in the semis
M2
was
has
both
wasted a
Chozo
lot of
area.
supers, by the way.
Yeah, that's
Missed
not
one on the
necessarily
door.
advisable.
I guess he missed one on both doors he was trying to open. So, down 2 supers on Kipp. We'll see if that matters. Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, you can open the spacer door, and then there's a cack in that room to give you back the one that you use. I guess he has to not miss again, but I think he'll definitely be fine. So yeah, this is also, again, it would have to be power bombs to confirm Chozo. Nothing else at this moment can confirm Chozo at a dual major location. This is actually, I mean, it's pretty typical that your disambiguation happens relatively early. And again, you're expecting major minor here, but not knowing for this long is actually relatively uncommon.
Yeah, but again, without being able to check the criteria items, I feel like that's where a lot of the reveals come. So we still don't know. We'll see how the runners decide to play. MM2 is actually going to farm some supers. Doesn't look like he's going to jump down, though. Not before checking this top portal, at least.
Yep. Cannot yet check the tube, so we're definitely going to be hoping to follow one of these two. There's a meme route that we can't check the item about, but at least we know about it.
Yeah, we don't have to go back. So it's better than the last couple seeds.
That's right. It's actually really curious here. Grapple does put that right pre-aqueduct portal in logic. So you can actually get to all 3 other portals. Pardon me. Yeah. A little bit of lead on Kipp's side. Mostly just movement. I like the he's just been supering this crab off of the wall and not even bother killing it.
Yeah, MM2 actually going to check this side first. I don't think he's saved at the fish tank save, so he's probably going to save over here. Oh, never mind. So what was that, crab supers? Whatever it is.
So once again.
Ah, yeah, Kipp didn't pick it up.
And
Be
that
fine.
is Upper
That's
Norfair Business Center. See what Kipp finds down here. Ooh, wreck ship, which you really can't do anything with.
Yeah, I'd say MM2 seems to be getting the better of this ordeal, but we'll see what he finds up here. He can't actually get out. Well, yes he can. He can just go down through the tube. So that's actually really sick to find for MM2.
For sure. It's a little bit awkward here without power bombs, and then you get them.
We get them immediately as we bring it up. Yeah, Kipp can't even follow this wreck ship, actually, without power bombs. Doesn't have a way to get down to the boss.
Oh, it's Chozo. There is an E-tank up there at the high jump miner, the second one.
Okay, so that is big knowledge for MM2.
Definitely changes how you view things right now. Because again, with the E-tank at the vanilla location in the ceiling, it's more likely that it's major minor, but it is not.
Well, everything MM2's done is in Chozo logic, so
yeah, for sure. Double wreck ship.
That's rough.
Again, potentially useful knowledge for Kipp. Kind of like the last seed where we got those that red tower information a lot earlier on Kipp's side. It's gonna be a while before M2 is gonna really want to do that. I'm assuming, especially in Chozo, there's no majors here in West Meridia, but we'll definitely see. Kipp is not gonna do that grapple over to Business Center, so he's gonna end up in Red Tower again. So I assume M2 is also going to be here, but with bombs and space jump and a power bomb pack, which is extremely nice because he can check X-ray on his way up.
Yeah, I think. Well, that wasn't the Chozo power bomb that MM2 got. You got bombs instead, so we
230
could
in
still
left
run into like
criteria.
Chozo power bomb at alpha power bombs, which Kipp might be checking. Want to check this door first, though.
No, that's where you came in. There's nothing to do here.
Oh yeah, I forgot, and so did Kipp because he went back to check it.
Yeah, and didn't bother resaving because if there's nothing up here, he wants to be back at the West Meridia portal again.
Thoughts on Chozo area, by the way? I know Audra's in chat, very vocal about not liking this mode. I actually don't mind it. I kind of like it. I don't know what your thoughts are, though.
I think she's one of the few who doesn't like it, honestly. It's definitely a very, very different experience to both full and major minor, I would say. The value of different kinds of information definitely changes quite a bit. I was talking to some people about how my experience in the randomizer scene is actually like way, way different to almost everyone's, given that I both came in at a point where I've only played dash tournaments, as well as I've played like way less major minor than other people. Also, to actually talk about the race, we found Green Star on Kipp's side and Screw Attack. But yeah, I feel like people play randomizer from a major minor perspective, regardless of whether or not it is major minor, and that can definitely color things in different ways. I don't really have that. Was kind of the point of that whole spiel. But got Kraid as well. Kipp can't do anything with that. This is really weird from Kipp's perspective, not having these bombs or power bombs.
Yeah, this is going to be so good for MM2, being able to go up and follow everything. MM2 will be able to at least check the Kraid boss, not guaranteed he can kill it. Although, the only boss MM2 can't do is Ridley. So, definitely capable of doing the high jumpless, grapple escape out of Dre. MM2 also may actually be checking this other portal, which I don't mind.
This is fine, I think. You've got two easy ways of checking it, as well as the CWJ and the horizontal bomb jump. The only way he doesn't have to check this is speed, funnily enough.
There's another E-Tank, pretty good. And we see a Croc. There's only one Chozo item here, and MM2 is not going to bother with it right now.
Especially with upper red tower outstanding. Kipp has found left side criteria.
Yeah, I believe this was at the bridge.
Yeah, a power bomb at Terminator will be really clutch here because...
Does Kipp know it's Chozo yet, by the way? I don't think he does.
I also don't think he... No, he does, because he got Screw Attack at Alpha Power Bombs.
Oh, yeah.
But that was... Chronic Boost down there at the G4 door. So, yeah. Looking at Green Star without any... bombing stuff is a little not great, and I was gonna say in that vein Kipp isn't going there, but he doesn't have a choice. Oh no, he's got Screw Attack. He does have a choice. You've already checked this, Kipp. I guess he's gonna do Gauntlet.
Yeah, Kipp is really like, I don't want to say struggling, but I think things might be blending together a little bit for Kipp. It's the second time he just went to a place that he couldn't do anything, or had already checked.
He's going down for exactly this item as well, which is a little non-standard.
I don't mind it, but I also don't like it. I'm not going to get rewarded, though.
Oh. Chat's correcting me about which upper Norfolk portal Kipp saw. I was
Croc Escape?
It was Croc Door. I thought it was Chronic for reasons I can't explain. So yeah, Kipp can't do 2 of the 3 Green Brinstar checks. That was what I was saying about earlier. And yeah, things have just worked out like 17 times better for MM2 thus far. Just because of that one decision to grapple over to what ended up being Business Center.
I mean, I'm saying this partially because, as you know, I've done a lot of map rando recently. But like, as soon as we got the grapple and found West Meridia, that was immediately what I was thinking, is just like using the grapple to get across Mount Everest, because that comes up so often in map rando. I don't know exactly what MM2 was thinking. Maybe just, potentially checking the portals in West Meridia top to bottom, and then it turns out that the top one was A, very good, and B, not what his opponent did. But either way, like you said, it has put MM2 in a pretty commanding lead so far, especially if he's able to kill the boss here and doesn't have to worry about it later.
I would just say that, I mean, in general, like, it didn't have to work out exactly the way it has worked out thus far, but yeah, like, 2 portals down versus 1 portal up is, like, the odds are that the bottom portals are going to get you somewhere good. So, like, the knowledge of the first one is kind of good to have, which is a way to view how M2 did this, but...
Yeah, that's basically what I was thinking, yeah. Like,
yeah.
You're fine checking all 4 portals early game. Like, it's fine to hit a dead end that your opponent doesn't to gain more knowledge. So, I think I like checking the 1 portal before checking the 2. And... M2 gets a gravity suit. That's pretty nice.
That is a
Doesn't-
massive find.
Doesn't open anything up just yet. We don't have a way to Botwoon. We get to see a vanilla crate, so...
it opens up Rex ship, and you can actually get out of it.
Oh yeah, that's true, because both Wreck ship portals are down there.
And he's got
Although
bombs.
MM2 doesn't know that. It's worth noting.
Yeah, he does not know that. That is true. So we do have power bombs here, finally, at the Brinstar Reserve. Interesting to see how Kipp decides to handle this. There's like 0 chance that this is a good portal up here.
Found so many non-Chozo tanks. That's just kind of crazy.
It really is.
How many we found?
And I mean, yeah, like the best portal that exists here for Kipp is like 2 tank upper Norfair nonsense. So it's almost certain he's going back through, especially with the 2 Chozos that are in Green Brinstar. But yeah,
Kipp is a 2 tank upper Norfair nonsense enjoyer though. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he does it. Probably not without full health though.
I mean, there's one check left that could be a tank, and that could change things, but it is. Kipp entered this area, this 5-item area with 0 power bombs, and he came out with 3. Shoutouts to power bomb.
Power bombs were all hiding together, except for the one that M2 got.
Kipp's coming down here. Again, he does have the ability to know that this is Chozo. So
I wonder if he's just looking for like an E-tank for a refill. Potentially thinking about the possibility of following a Norfair. It's either that or he just forgot what mode it is, which I hope for his sake that's not the case. Does get another non-Chozo tank though. We've seen like 5 or 6 so far.
If he had forgotten, he's just got the information again. So if nothing else, it's good for that reason. Yeah, again, he hasn't seen that elevator. And yeah, M2 is now over here in the areas that Kipp has shown us already. So he's going to be coming through here, gets to go through in a good way, basically. Although, frankly, I guess if this is East Meridia, it's pretty good for M2's pathing, but no ice, no speed. And thus far, all we've seen is a vanilla boss, so...
M2 is a known CF clipper, so if we do find like a front of East up here, he'll have the power bombs to get through.
He will.
Well,
front of East.
There it is. I mean, the biggest issue is like if Ridley's at the back of, like if Ridley's at the boss, that's really bad. But we've already seen 1 vanilla boss, so obviously that doesn't guarantee anything, but does make it more likely that we will find a Drig at home.
For sure. And with the powerbomb, Kipp now has access to the he can do the tube jump to get an upper Norfair, which is probably what ends up happening. I think he's gonna go back to Red Tower from here.
There's our Varia, also in Green Bryn.
What was the charge beam?
What was it? Charge beam.
Probably was it a tank?
I think it was a
I don't
missile.
know. Okay,
Yeah,
but
Chozo missile
that's,
one.
that's. I mean, yeah, I had already talked about how good this was going for M2, and that's just like the icing on the cake. Finding both suits this early, and yeah, especially with both suits now, you almost certainly are going to see a Crystal Flash clip here from MM2. And the only the only way that this is punishing is if it's Turian back there, which isn't super unlikely, frankly. We don't have a ton of portals outstanding.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that is the only situation where MM2 isn't really ahead in this, from this position. Like, it has to be Turian for Kipp, basically, at back of East.
Kipp's got right here is Red Tower, and he can go back and check that crate, but he is going to Criteria instead. It's not great.
Yeah, where was the gravity? It was in...
It was at Various Suit behind Crate.
That's right.
He just went away from that, and getting closer to that is not super trivial. I guess if he does this, but no, he doesn't have a good way to
He has Varia, so he's going to follow his Varia.
Oh yeah, that does make some sense.
Yeah, I like the play, but obviously, like you said, it's taking him away from the good item.
Cross Croc is the intended way. Grapple Beam. Shout outs to Grapple.
Shout out to Grapple. Does get another super, which is nice.
And again, this does put him back in Red Tower. It's just a little bit farther away in Red Tower. But this is basically this is a bunch of unknown stuff for Kipp, so it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I was mentioning the possibility of getting owned by Ridley for MM2, and that's still kind of the case, even with Varia. Obviously, Ridley is possible now, but with only 40 damage charge shots, it is very long. You're even seeing MM2 check the, or at least attempting to check these snail clip items. That's too high. I think that's too low.
I agree, and the snail isn't making things any better. I don't even think that would have worked high jump.
Yeah.
A little unfortunate. It's gonna go and save. Makes sense for the CF clip.
Yeah, so Ridley could be a pretty big punish for MM2. But does have a lot of ammo, so it's not the end of the world. Missing that snail clip really hurts, though. Got a damage down for the CF. Kipp finds his bombs and space jump here at Business Center.
And yeah, not only we were talking about the Ridley punish, post CF clip, this Ridley also sucks. Like literally, I think you want those 2 missiles.
Nice first try, but yeah. It's gonna be a bit of a long Botwoon fight. So, I'm gonna do a golden shower just to try to get some damage in. I think one of those hit, so that's 1 super equivalent.
Yeah, this is gonna take a long while.
Definitely not something you want to be doing. And you see why MM2 wanted a snail clip for more ammo so badly.
Yeah. Kipp's gonna get this information. If he has any chance in the rest of the city, he needs to go to Gravity exactly now, which seems pretty likely. I mean, he's got X-Ray as well on his way up, but he's just gonna stay in Upper Norfair. Which does make some sense, so.
Yeah. Did he check the other door?
Yeah,
I assume he did.
Doors.
Okay.
I don't know
as
how.
Mentioned, just following his Varia suit, trying to get everything from Upper Norfair.
I guess if he leaves out of well, I'd say if he leaves out a crack door, but the problem is he's probably going to end up in Lower Norfair, I think. given what I know about the portals.
I think he has to end up in Lower Norfair.
I mean, this could chain all the way, by the way, East Meridia, Lower Norfair, Turian. That's possible. And
That is
that's
true.
if this is a self-connection, that's already actually guaranteed. That's unlikely, obviously, but it is a possibility.
Alright, Baltoon finally down for MM2.
I think my 2 longs were a bit of an exaggeration, but 1 long was definitely correct. That took a while. 40 damage charge beam doesn't even exist in the vanilla game, and even if it did, you would never use it on literally anything because it's bad.
Get 13% if starter charge existed in the base game. Just have to do a solid 600 shot Ridley in Mother Brain. It's doable. You can do it.
For sure. Found all the power bombs now. They were only hiding out for a little bit.
Yep.
Could have used
Looks
more
like
of these last seed, frankly.
Or they show up when you don't want them. Like a 2/1/1 seed, though, yeah. MM2 is not going to be full power bombs entering this boss, so hopefully, for his sake, it's not Ridley, because we will be in for another long fight if that's the case.
With if he double hit all his power bombs and he was full on all the other ammo, minus obviously the doors, it wouldn't be like a ton of damage relatively on Ridley, but it'd be quite a bit, and it's only a missile there.
He still won it. MM2 did not save, but again, every boss is possible. It's just that Ridley takes a while.
Yeah, we're doing all this theorizing about Ridley, and it's unlikely, frankly, but that's Fantoon.
Oof.
Again.
The no fade out scared me a little bit. And yeah, it is for the 3rd time in a row. We do have boss shuffled, so that speed booster is non-trivial. I don't know if MM2 is getting that.
Almost certainly not.
But the way the portals shake out is going to change the outlook of this race a lot.
Again, I think it's pretty likely that, well, I mean, it's extremely likely that, Lower Norfair has to be, no, unless it's self-connection, Lower Norfair is over here. That is 100% confirmed. And there's the front.
There's the front, so we have Chronic Boost,
Back of
East, Turian, and back of LN.
So,
Turian back here is still pretty bad for MM2, especially with how long that Baltoon fight was.
yeah, and the fact that Kipp's gonna go through with speed and finish the game there if it happens to be Turian. Because he'll be able to get that information deduced without needing to go there. Yeah, for sure. Because Kipp has all the information M2 has now, portal-wise. So this is it. Kipp is going to find out the rest of the game right here.
Yep. Kipp has all the knowledge, right?
Yeah.
That is Turian, so that is really good for MM2. He'll find the back of LN if he goes to the back of East, which I don't know if he is, actually.
I think he should. Even
I agree that he should.
Even with bad outcomes, I think he should. Because he hasn't seen those bottom 2 West Meridia, which are both of wrecked ship. So there's a ton of outs for him. And one bad thing. Lower Norfair's low-key bad because it pushes the bad outcome further away, but he's not going to do it. Which is going to work out well enough, but it is not the best path through the seed for sure. Because if he had just gone through LN, he comes back, he ends up in here, and then you end up in West Meridia, you get the wreck ship knowledge, and then you just come back to Turian. Likely, he's still, like, pretty significantly ahead.
I mean, he does have 2 boss kills still up on Kipp.
Yeah.
And like you said, the routing isn't going to be too bad. He's just going to have to do a front-to-front LN at the end, which is a little annoying, but not the end of the world, especially not with Space Screw. So the front of LN isn't even that bad.
Just needs to get better in-game equipment. Currently has space jump as his only movement, not a ton of ammo, a bad beam, and no
Yeah, you
Zebs.
actually need more ammo to get through the Zebs, funny enough. Or well, you can do a lot of refills, but you really don't want to.
So he's definitely going to be checking items. What those items are and which split they end up being as far as Chozos versus miners. Definitely going to be telling, but he has to find his way into West Meridia, which is not too difficult. Although, I mean,
Don't think this was the most efficient route.
well, I mean, there's two unknowns over here.
I guess, yeah, MM2 is just going to get all this knowledge now. But I'm hoping he doesn't, like, if he follows LN and then, like, goes to the back, he's kind of in shambles.
Yeah.
Although I guess he's hitting Turian first, so he just knows.
Well, he knows it's not a dead end. What he doesn't know is that it's not going to be Wreck Ship or West Meridia. It's going to be the only bad thing that it could be for him.
Right, but then again, do you even follow? Do you want to follow this LN? You kind of just want to go back to Wreck Ship.
He doesn't know where Wreck Ship is. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, that's true. But you can... I guess there is still a possibility that, like, bottom of West links or something silly like that.
I mean, yeah, the most likely outcomes, like, the only bad outcome for him is East Meridia. It's just what it is. Because the more likely is that you get one side of Wreck Ship or you get a West Meridia and then you find a Wreck Ship and then Wreck Ship and East Meridia connect somehow. Like, ooh, and Kipp's going to do Croc.
Oh, yeah. Also unrelated, but you were saying he wouldn't, but MM2 did get the speed booster. Probably isn't going to check speed as well, but that is big. Even if he does go to speed and gets that E-tank there, I believe, it's not the end of the world.
So, I'm not even sure if Plasma is good enough for Kipp here. But I really don't hate this Croc play because, I mean, well, I don't know. Crate's definitely better, but, like, the idea that, well, frankly, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out, like, between those two, probably one of them has your answer as far as the rest of the seed, just because Lower Norfair is not in logic for him. He doesn't have high jump. He doesn't have access to the back because it's in East Meridia. Definitely not in logic. Wreck Ship definitely could be the answer for him, except we know it's shuffled bosses. So, like, it's hilarious.
Yeah, if Kipp just
that to be the case.
like takes gravity down to Wreck Ship, he's gonna find the bad news that he can't get anything.
So yeah, I think even with potential back of LN nonsense putting him into a place he doesn't want to be, it's so hard for me to believe he's not just like significantly ahead here. He just
He's even checking this item.
Out so much better for him. I mean, beams are really good for MM2, like really good.
It's just
I don't hate this.
Like MM2's seen so many Chozo miners. Unfortunately, it gets pretty punished with this X-ray, but like every Chozo item left is so likely to be good for MM2. Kipp also really not finding a great item. The spring ball.
Yeah, some somewhat out of the way Chozo checks for both runners and nothing doing. Yeah, there was some comments in chat about charge beam. Croc cannot have charge in Chozo in the way that
it can with starter charge, right?
No, it can't. That's what I was gonna say. The way that the check works, has charge is not on if you have starter charge. I actually specifically asked Mass about that. So even in starter, like it's starter plus, one of them does do it, but even in Chozo, if you're playing starter plus, the one that matters is on the Chozo statue.
Makes sense. there were 2 super drops that MM2 kind of wanted, but wasn't gonna go back for.
I think Kipp
He'll get a
is
super from the Pirates. It's all right.
about to do Gauntlet. Yeah, he's just not going back to Kraid.
Yeah, it's a bit rough.
And especially this this play, it's a little bit weird. Like, I don't know. It's tough, and I'm biased by knowing that it's gravity. Good.
There's our Chosa reserve. Not what we wanted to see.
Runners are just not doing exactly the things. Well, Kipp's not doing the exact thing he needs to do. MM2 is just not getting rewarded by basically anything. He keeps finding all these non-Chozo tanks, and X-Ray was useless.
Yeah, he spiked the crazy route in the beginning, going across to...
Pistol, good grief.
Goodness. Well, here's our Ridley that's going to take a minute.
He tried to...
MM2 wishes it was going to take a minute, I should say. So, time for Kipp to potentially catch up. He will be able to do things while MM2 is locked in an intense battle against Ridley with nothing but a rusty dagger and a lot of determination. There's Wave Beam, that'd be nice.
Shoutouts to daggers. Material not super paying off for Kipp. He barely has anything left but to do Kraid. But he could go wreck ship and hope that there's an item in there that actually gets you out. You would need high jump or gravity to be there.
I mean, the odds of high jump being there aren't too low.
Well, it's Dragon there is the problem. He doesn't know that, obviously.
Right.
So, I mean, frankly, as unlikely as it was for him to get basically the exact same settings in game 1 and 2, getting another shuffled is pretty similarly unlikely.
Yeah, 3 shuffled in a row is definitely not what you're expecting to happen. And Kipp is just going down to ship, it looks like, not going up to Kraid.
I mean, with Varia, all 4 bosses are killable, so I really don't understand not doing Kraid here.
Yeah, I would agree, but it might just be like a race decision. He's thinking, maybe... Like, if he's figured out that the going across to pre-Aqueduct was so powerful because it got you those early power bombs and then you got to route really well, like, he might think that happened, and so MM2 got to Kraid. And if that's the case, if Kraid is good, then he just loses. So he has to take this risk and try to go to ship and try to hit a sick item. But unfortunately, he's going to hit a sick Dragon and... don't believe
probably
he has
not be able to get out, by the way. Like, I don't know where his last save is, but it is extremely unlikely that he can get out of this.
Yeah.
But for the record, my problem with that thinking is that he knows the whole map at this point, so like delaying Kraid for like meta race reasons doesn't help you in any way. You still literally need to do it.
Yeah, I would agree. But I'm just saying that's probably Kipp's thought process.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see where his last save is. There was some talk in chat about Kipp maybe not even knowing the bootless.
Did he take the... because he went through Fish Tank. Did he not take that save?
I don't know.
I'd assume he would, but maybe not. He is going for this Dragon fight, for better or for worse. I'm gonna lean towards worse, I'm not gonna lie to you.
I mean, yeah, like I said, it has to be exactly high jump for him to be able to... Well,
this Ridley does not look very dead, but MM2 seems to think so.
You and I, with our map rando viewership, know that Ice Beam would technically get him out, but the idea that Kipp knows how to do bootless Spring Ball on Ice Beam what's it called? Main Street is like so far out of my mind that like I'm not even considering it for real. Kipp's also having some struggles. There's Plasma.
Alright, yeah, that's pretty much go mode for MM2. That's not the best weaponry, but it's enough. Like, you have a respectable Mother Brain fight with this, and I don't think you bother trying to get a better one. At least not going out of your way. Might check behind Dre. And potentially, like, left super, right super if he really wants to. But knowing MM2, I don't think he will. I think that he's just going with this.
Mm-hmm.
What's actually kind of awkward is how low his health is. So he's going to go to the back and find the back of East, and then he kind of has to go back down that way because his health isn't good enough to acid dive.
He's very far away from a Corrosive Flash. Oh my goodness, it's ice.
Well, that's really good for MM2 if he checks it. Speaking of good for MM2.
And now he can front to front this if he wants to.
Yeah, well, he's going to check the back first, like you said. He's hoping for wreck ship there, and we'll get kind of owned by the double wreck ship at the bottom. Not as owned as Kipp is right now, though.
Yeah, again, I'm not sure he's like getting out of this live because again, like his only way out is to climb Main Street with his equipment, which is possible for the record, but it is very difficult, and you have to like actually know how to do that. And I just don't think Kipp does.
Pulling out the low percent X ice tech. Hold up.
Like, I only know that it's possible. I don't know how to do it. It's a bunch of nonsense and it's extremely slow.
That's pretty much my knowledge of the escape as well. It's nonsense and slow. Gotta bring back, who was the X-Ice runner? Robattalion, maybe?
I was thinking King of the Hill.
King of the Hill probably did it. King of the Hill did all the low percent.
So the good news for Kipp here is you can spark up most of this. Bad news is you still have to do the rest of it.
Oof.
A little late.
Well, meanwhile, MM2 has received the bad news that he could have had the sickest route. Instead, he only has a sick route.
So my brain was not remembering that Kipp could do a spark, which eliminates quite a bit of this. But I think there's some like global crab waiting you need to do up here, because like the one that you normally use for like this upper ledge that I'm pointing at my screen at and no one can see because that's not how this works.
Yeah, that one is not like does not move if he's not on screen. It's only the one from all the way at the bottom of the room. The spring ball is going to help.
I was unsure if he could actually do that spring ball jump without boots.
The thing is, Kipp does not want this crab to go down.
So yeah, I think his best method is to like get up here, and yeah, like from here you wait for a global crab. It's probably like a minute or something.
I think it might be more than that. The crabs are not very fast.
Yeah, like part of the problem with the way Kipp did this is like he needed to not activate the crab, I guess, so it didn't start until he was up here, but he did to get up here. But now he's like there's no way that bootless this is enough height. There's just no way. Oh, and people are saying that the speed blocks make it so the global crab can't get here.
Oh yeah, that's true. The crab does not like going into a one-way tube, so it'll actually just back out. And then Kipp is kind of owned from there, unfortunately. I didn't even think about that. So I don't think about this high jumpless strat very often.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so rough for Kipp.
M2, I think, actually does now know about the double wreck ship now, and that's all he needs to do other than beating the rest of the game. So, yeah, it didn't matter how much shambles Kipp was in, but the shambles are definitely unfortunate.
Oh, it didn't even go in the hole; it just fell.
And I think, and that's not close enough to get on that left wall, and maybe give you some. So yeah, Kipp is resetting. Dragon is no longer dead.
Yep. Ice is no longer obtained. And it
that said
doesn't
3 minutes.
look like...
That said 3 minutes, Derp.
Oh boy. We are down a few items.
I don't think he has any of the majors on his tracker.
He shouldn't. This is right after getting... this is right after going to Red Tower.
And he's not even taking the good route.
He's still... Oh man. It's so sad.
So yeah, the fortunate thing is that upon rewatch, or maybe just talking to him too, we'll learn that didn't matter. But like that, there can be no worse feeling in Game 3 of a finals than like literally losing 40 minutes of progress.
Yeah, I mean, great news for MM2 though. You know, we were mentioning this is his first final in a just Super Metroid randomizer tournament, and unless something catastrophic happens, he's going to be able to close it out.
I mean, I assume he has a more recent save than Kipp did if something catastrophic happens, but frankly, that might not be true.
I mean, it's more
Aqueduct for CF Clip. He definitely has a more recent save.
Yeah.
Kipp has to finally find Gravity Suit, which we've known about since what, like 10-15 minutes.
We got to it pretty early.
Shout out to Kraid. He's a pal. Definitely interesting X-ray strats here. Don't think he's gonna one round even with the extra shots on the left.
Yeah, your beam just does so little damage. This should be enough to not be off screen, but MM2 gonna play it safe.
Oh yeah, also I was thinking it was full plasma, not 150. He's nowhere near close. I would have just grappled with this equipment set.
I think I also would have just grappled with this equipment, but that's okay. As it turns out, it does not really matter from this point. The important thing was not getting chain damaged pretty much, and even then, MM2 would be pretty significantly ahead.
So he does get the ice beam, which barely matters, frankly, but I guess what? That's a 33% damage increase on your charge beam. That's actually that's way less insignificant than I was pretending.
Yeah, and it gives you a nice Metroid rooms and Zeb skip, which I think MM2 might do speed Zeb skip anyways. Although we did see the waveless down back skip in game 1, so maybe he'll just do that again.
He's a try hard for sure.
I mean,
for the record,
there's a reason he's winning so many games. Like I said at the very beginning, MM2's got the tech. I guess this isn't so bad for Kipp. He knew that the power bombs were here.
Yeah, I don't even know. Even with all my knowledge, I don't even know how you like semi-spoiler log this race, because I mean, there's a bunch that there's the gravity that Kipp doesn't know about, but like I know Varia's back down, so you're gonna go down. You don't need to get the missiles at charge, but the beam's bad enough that you kind of do still want to get ammo. You didn't get one of the extraneous powerbomb packs.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're routing it pretty similarly to what MM2 ended up doing. Obviously, you're just going back of East into back of LN. Maybe you get Grav and you actually like do Fantoon, do Wreck Ship right away, and then do all of that. I think that would be the god route.
Something like that, yeah.
It's still not great.
And you have to, I mean, especially for Kipp, you're probably getting that speed up for Norfair, which makes things a little more awkward, because from there, you probably want to do Lower Norfair to East Meridia the other direction. And unfortunately, that doesn't get you Dragon, because Dragon's in Wreck Ship. So it's a little awkward. Yeah, oh yeah, with Dragon and Wreck Ship, maybe that's why you just do Wreck Ship early.
Yeah, exactly.
You're right.
Of course, you do have a pretty slow Dragon fight, but I think that's still probably
If you're grapple, it's not slow.
That's true.
It's only slow if you don't use it.
Well, you know. MM2 made it to Turian. He's got a fine beam, he's got ice, he's got speed, space jump. And I would imagine he feels pretty confident about his route. Although there is the scary part about, not checking back these. That might be on the back of his mind. Like, he could think that Kipp just god routed it as well. Unfortunately for Kipp, he is back at the beginning, so...
Yep.
Was not the case.
Kipp is finally going to do Kraid.
Well, gonna get the bad news.
I mean, I think he has to know that this is an answer of some sort. It could be either high jump or gravity. But I do think, from Kipp's knowledge, it does exactly have to be one of those two things.
I mean, yeah.
Because high jump gets him lower Norfair access from the front.
And
doesn't
gravity,
even lets him escape from that Dragon after getting the ice. And he knows about a spring ball, but he's never going back for that.
Where was space jump?
Ice.
Well, the high jump technically doesn't open anything. Kipp could have just done the front of LN with both suits and space. Or well, I guess.
Yeah, that's what. If high jump existed, it would be here. That's what I'm saying.
Right. I see what you're saying. My brain is also not working. I'm not going to lie to you.
We've been talking and watching for a long time, so understandable. And things have been a little bit determined for quite a while, and the death didn't help in that regard. But it's going to have a boss killed.
Chat saying MM2 was 30 minutes ahead before the death. I don't think that's quite accurate, but it was similarly commanding.
It was more than 10, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, Kipp did have pretty much full map knowledge, so that would have helped, but he still would have had to, go all the way down to ship, go all the way back up to East Meridia, and then route all the way through that. And through LN.
Yep.
So not great. M2 once again gets the down back skip. With the added difficulty of not having wave beam, so had to go shoot the Zeb from under to freeze it.
We have found more Chozo E-tanks than any Chozo seat I've ever seen. Holy cow. I'm looking at MM2. Was there an E-tank at BT? Is that how this worked at the beginning? It was grapple at BT.
Yeah, it was grapple at BT.
He might not have any Chozo E-tanks out of
There's an E-tank at Spazer. I think there's one more. There's two more that MM2 didn't get, because he didn't get the Chozo Reserve, and he didn't get the E-tank at speed. So he has at most 2 Chozo tanks and 6 non-Chozo, or 7.
It's kind of ridiculous.
I want to say he found a second Chozo tank, but I have not been keeping track.
Chesto says Spazer Speed and Art Gauntlet are what he remembers.
He might just have 7 non-Chozo tanks, which is kind of insane.
And it probably seems like he may have checked a lot. It is really easy to forget how many items you never even think about in Chozo. And you can just see, he's got 8 tanks. He doesn't even have 8 missiles. He's picked up 7 missile packs and 8 energy tanks.
Goodness. One of the strangest Chozo seeds I've seen in a while, for sure.
For sure.
Oof. Dodging catch-ups without high jump is so scary.
Definitely, you got to be on your reactions. It's really interesting to see, like, Kipp's ability to route this as far as knowledge and like what you actually want to get and stuff. Kind
Does
of
Kipp not
interesting.
pick up Varia, by the way?
No, he's got Varia.
Okay. Is he doing stand-up here? Kind of scary. Oof. He did a little twist right on Mother Brain's foot. Took a couple hits. That was a little scary, but pretty much the last scary part for MM2. It's all smooth sailing from here. It's got the X-ray in case of any shenanigans.
Most shenanigans, yes.
Most shenanigans. Has to not sit on Mother Brain's knees, I guess.
Well, the one actual stand-up soft lock I've ever actually seen in a race was Mother Brain being unable to kill the baby.
Yeah, so like you don't want to sit too close to Mother Brain for too long, but I think MM2 has enough tanks where that's not too scary. MM2?
Talk of high jumpless.
Okay.
2 cry. Apparently exists.
Well, unfortunately didn't go for it.
Which is like the main reason to actually go for this stand-up is to manipulate the cutscene better. Like this beam is like a stick that you brought to a gunfight.
Yeah, it's slightly better than the rusty dagger that we had for Ridley, but still not the not your weapon of choice for a fight like this.
Stick was maybe a little bit harsh.
It's a rapier, maybe. Not like a good one, but one of the ones you can buy on eBay that's dull enough to legally sell online.
I was gonna say like level 1 dungeon, like great broadsword.
Yeah.
Where you know you're gonna find something better later on, but for now it'll do the job.
Chat's Banger analogy might not be working anymore. Might be falling apart.
That's me in analogies in a nutshell. They always start out great, and then I go way too far, and then it's like you should have stopped 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's just not working anymore.
Just like our runners have pressed on through 3 games of trials, tribulations, shambles, crazy seeds, settings that barely change from game 1 to 2, and an insane
a lot of shuffled bosses.
A lot of shuffled bosses, but it's been an amazing tournament. It is coming to an end quickly as mm2 sparks up the climb. Gonna get a nice little sub hour here, and it'll be fun to talk to these two. They are actually both organizers, funnily enough. Do you have your opinions about what am I trying to say? I don't know. It was unnecessary and not true, but we're just going to talk about the fact that MM2 is finished in first place with an official race time of 57 minutes and 39 seconds. He is our Super Metroid Randomizer Mystery Tournament champion. And Kipp, very quickly, with a forfeit. And yeah, I'm assuming they're both going to be in here pretty quickly. Get to talk to them. And
we are joined by the victorious, the winner, mm2nescartridge. GG's.
It's me. GG's, everybody. I'll say it again when Kipp gets in here. GG, Kipp.
Hey, guys. GG.
Yep.
What a
Good games
run.
to you both. This was quite the final seed. Definitely went very differently for the two of you, as I'm sure you've talked about as well. But overall, crazy series. Your games 1 and 2 were practically the exact same settings, which is kind of insane. You had 3 shuffled bosses in a row, which is also slightly less insane, but still pretty insane. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I was very happy about 3 shuffled bosses because I'm a known shuffled bosses enjoyer. But yeah, 2 full countdowns was also kind of scary because full countdown vanilla map. But I am very happy that we got 3 areas. That I'm I am quite happy for the finals to be all area. But yeah, just I feel like I played my best all three games, and game 2 didn't really go my way just because of the lack of power bombs and then reverse acid dive shambles. But games 1 and 3 I was pretty happy with all around. So yeah, definitely really happy with it. And of course, big GGs to Kipp. I'm confident you also played very well. So
Yeah, I feel pretty good about how I played in games 1 and 2. I'm sure people in the chat and the comms probably figured out in game 3, I completely forgot about Kraid. And so what I was doing is I thought for a minute I was in a situation where it was going to be one of those you have to go in there and then get out with the item kind of situations. And that's why I did a bunch of extra stuff. I thought maybe I would need to get high jump boots or something before I could get out. But unfortunately, I forgot about Kraid. But the good news is I don't think that really was the difference. I think I would have been behind anyway based on the other stuff that I did. So third game, wasn't my best. But at the same time, that these seeds get complicated. You got to be on top of everything. So it just wasn't my day for the third seed. But by the way, in case anybody was wondering, I did not figure out that it was Chozo. I know I should have known when we got the screw attack at Alpha Power Bombs. For some reason, it didn't dawn on me at that moment, and I still thought it was Major Minor until I saw the super missile at Edacoons. So,
I think
but
we
anyway,
mentioned
yeah.
something along those lines.
Yeah,
that
congrats to him
it could
too.
be the
Great
case.
tournament, man. I think you played, like I said in my last interview, I think you played the best of anybody in the tournament from the very beginning week until now. Glad I was able to push you to a third game, but I think you deserve to be the champion.
yeah, I'm definitely really happy that I've been putting in a ton of effort on these settings. I think they're really interesting in a lot of different ways, and they can give you just so many different curveballs. And I'm glad that I've taken the time to just play them down to the bone, I guess, and it's paid off like this. But also glad that I get to race so many really good opponents. You, Audra, Fringo, Zeb in playoffs, and then just a bunch of different opponents in Swiss. Really had a really great time with all this stuff. I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, I figured out it was Chozo when I saw the E tank at High Jump Missile. I was like, wait, what? Oh, it's Chozo. Because I was assuming it was Major Minor because of E tank at Ceiling and then E tank at Spazer.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. It's funny that neither one of us put it together at the screw attack.
Oh,
he got there way earlier than Screw Attack. You two immediately diverged at West Meridia. You'll see on the rewatch, but
yeah. I went down and then I went straight to West. And
oh, that's right. You told me that,
yeah. So I didn't go upper tower until I had power bombs. So yeah, but I mean, all told, I'm really happy with how the final series went. GG's to you once again. Thanks to Derp, my eternal BFF practice racer. We've done probably 50 practice races throughout this tournament, just the two of us.
Might be more than that, honestly. We've done a lot of practice.
Honestly, so many times we were just like, hey, I want to race. So just in the middle of the day, and then we do 2 races, just the two of us. It was great. Thanks to DJ, of course, for being a great commentator, covering just a zillion matches. Maybe not so the crew was so much DJ and friends as it was in SG Live 23 online, but definitely you did your fair share. Of course, thanks to Jestro, the tracking crew might as well be Jestro and friends this time around, as it always is. But definitely just pulling your weight. The tournament would not be the same without you. Thanks to Zeb, Nevdi, everybody in MGA's Discord for really just teaching me how to play area since like 2022. This it's been really good just to get better at this game and understand how to how to be good at the randomizer. But yeah, I think that's my spiel. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll echo some of that. Since this is the tournament's end, as an organizer, I would really, as I've mentioned in some of the other comms before, really, really want to give a shout out to everybody that helped put on the event. Everybody that did comms and tracking in particular, you guys are awesome. It's really cool, again, that you would donate your time and kind of help us out in that way. Obviously, the people at SG, really appreciate them too. All of the runners, I mean, this was a really, really fun tournament, really competitive. There was not a single week that I didn't have a good time. And also, I guess the biggest shout out needs to go to Tracy, because this was her idea, this whole mystery thing. And then she started talking with me and Mass and Kupo at SG Live this past year about, what could we do to try to make this a reality. And at first I was like, man, this is going to be a crazy tournament. But actually, once I started playing, I actually really like this. I'm a big fan. I really enjoy tournaments that feature one specific combination of settings, but I also like occasionally doing something like this where you got to be on your toes a little bit. It's really fun. So I really enjoyed it. I wish I could go to SG Live this year. Unfortunately for me, they changed the dates a little bit, and it's at a time where I literally cannot be away from work. But I hope everybody that goes has a good time, and good luck to everybody who's going to participate there. Thank you, Derp and DJ and Jestro, for the crew today. But I think that's it for me, guys. I had a blast. This was one of my all-time favorite tournaments. And once again, congratulations to MM2.
Yeah, I'll just echo that before we segue over to the next thing. Just thanks to Kipp and Tracy and all the organizers for putting this thing on together. Just so much happened behind the scenes that would not have been possible without the organizer crew that we had. And also, of course, thanks to everybody who did crew for this event, all the trackers, all the commentators, even if you only did one match, you're great. Yeah, this is just, it's been a fantastic tournament. I'm super glad it happened. And yeah, now we can get on to moving on with the next thing. So Tracy, take it away.
Before she goes, I was just gonna say I wanted to congratulate both of you. I was part of those races a little bit with you and Derp M2, but not quite as much.
Yeah.
Sometimes I remember that I have a real life and bills to pay, but only occasionally. But yeah, it was an amazing tournament. Like you said, it was the somewhat smaller tournament actually made for like a whole lot of like really, really exciting matches. Basically from like, I mean, we had Kipp Nevny in the first week for other reasons, but like even from week 2, like there were so many really good matchups. We saw a lot of new matchups also, which I was really happy about. As well as just, I mean, selfishly, I did have a pretty good tournament myself, and kind of my first real like big tournament. So yeah, lots of fun.
Yeah, you only made quarterfinals. That's no, you did great for sure.
And yeah, unfortunately, Kipp, the only person currently in this call that we're not going to see at SGL, but hopefully we'll make it back there in the future. And yeah, with that, I will actually let Tracy take over.
Yeah, and of course, I'm going to be echoing a lot of what MM2 and Kipp said. First of all, congratulations to both of you. I mean, I just to be clear, this was not designed to be a organizer finals. It's what we got, and you two are two of the best, so it worked out pretty well. We got 3 games. I know, D-Web, you were talking at one point how few 3-game series as we had, so really good to have. I've been joking with Rick on the scheduling. Once again, not a 3rd game. Nope, this time we got one, so really awesome.
Hey, to your point, Tracy, I do want to point out probably the biggest positive for me from this tournament was, Dash is technically sort of like my, brainchild, and then all the Dash crew that helps put it together. But Dash is also the randomizer in tournaments over the years that I performed the worst in and have like the worst record. But this tournament really boosted my win rate, so I'm very, very happy with the results in this one.
Well, there you go. And we're going to be using Dash at SG Live even without you, so we'll miss you there. But yeah, there's a lot of other people. So a lot of this was me and Kipp and MM2, but we did have Diddy Kong and Maniacal helping out a little bit behind the scenes, and every little bit helps out there. I don't think I can shout out Kupo enough. I mean, Nurse Shabbat is still pretty raw, but I mean, so much of that was made things so much easier on us.
Absolutely.
The automatic threads being made and the automatic race rooms and all that. And I know that Inertia Bot's just going to get better and better. So huge shout out to Kupo, and hopefully he keeps working on that and makes it like the best it could be. And of course, we had all the Dash devs. It was Mass and Kupo, Cassidy, Kipp, of course you. I'm probably forgetting people in there. So if there's anybody you want to add there, please do so.
Me, I'm here.
Also,
I was looking at the Dash Discord just before, and oh yeah, you do a lot of the logic, don't you?
I think that was my main contribution, was area logic things.
Yeah, yeah, and I was looking at the Discord, and apparently I'm still staff there, so yay.
Congrats, Tracy.
Yeah, exactly. There are some comms and trackers I want to shout out. I mean, Jestro, of course, and Jestro, not just for the tracking, but he was pretty much setting up every race that he could set up, and sometimes he was setting up 2 races at once on the SG side. So, without Jestro, like, this is so much more difficult. But we did have a few other comms. We had Nubian God stepped in a lot to pick up races that Jestro couldn't do, and Fishing Boo as well. Picking up races that those two couldn't do, and obviously a ton of other people that I just can't name them all. There's too many of you. But even if you, as I think MM2 said earlier, even if you just did one, it's such a huge help.
Absolutely.
D-Web, you're such a good commentator at this game. I feel like it was funny because when you started doing comms, you did a race, and I think it was I don't remember if it was the 2022 summer tournament or the league in 2023, and I'm just like, D-Web, you've been holding out on us. So, really glad we have you aboard for all this. I also want to mention Derp and OK Beamer, because a lot of times they came in and did the early morning matches. In some cases, I get a message after the fact, which would be unfortunate, but super shouts to you guys. Also, the number of matches covered by JXB Adams, Salty Pigeon, WFX Fan 21, and Vincent RTA. They did, beyond the matches that D-Web did, those guys just filled in a ton. But yeah, and then again, a shout out to everybody else that did commentary. Can't not shout out Adirondack Rick. He just makes it. He's so easy to work with, and every time if a channel is needed or a race gets in there late, he's always there to make sure that it gets on the air. And we got the only races that didn't get restreamed were asyncs, so we did good. That's part of being a smaller tournament this year, but still, it's still 42 people that were in this tournament, which meant we had in the Swiss Weeks 21 races a week. So that's a lot of races that were all covered, all on SG. So if anybody's watching this back on YouTube, you got to see all of them. Shouldn't be any gaps there. Let's see what else we got. Oh, and I have to shout out the Zelda 1 randomizer community, because that's where I got this idea. They did what they call a random percent tournament, which is basically the same thing, a mystery settings. And that was where I got the idea that we should do that for SM. And I honestly don't think it could have worked out better. Like some of this, we kind of went back and forth in some of the settings. I think the settings that we arrived at worked out really, really well. I still would have liked to have gotten pressure valve in there. Maybe by the time if we do this again, we can work it so pressure valve isn't a progression.
We've already been talking about it.
Yeah.
So
we just didn't have enough.
We'll see. We're gonna do some experimentation with Dash. Also, just while I'm still here, we're probably going to try to do some kind of small, weekend long tournament around Christmas time again. We did a Dash Invitational a few months ago. It was just 3 or 4 days in a row. We'll probably do something like that in December too, just to kind of have a little bit of randomizer here and there for people. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, go ahead. Keep going, Tracy.
Okay, a couple other, 2 other announcements I'm going to make. One, if you're interested in the in-person tournament, and you're not in the SG Live Discord, just ping the organizer. We'll get you in there, and so that everybody that wants to play in that is going to get a chance to play in that. And then the last thing is actually not mine at all. It's actually MM2's. He's got an announcement about the next Super Metroid tournament coming up.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Thank you. So The next Super Metroid tournament will be coming up sooner than you might expect. We're hoping to get it started sometime in November, like late October, probably more like early mid-November. But a lot of these details are TBA, but it will be a vanilla multi-category tournament featuring 7 categories, which will be any percent, 100%, low percent ice, reverse boss order, GT classic, double anti-bingo, and max percent GT code, which will have a special requirement to collect the gravity suit before doing GT code, so you have to do the old route without zero tank dive. So it's going to be a really exciting tournament for the vanilla fans and also the multi-category fans, since we haven't had a multi-category of proper vanilla multi-cat since 2020, which is like right around when I started playing the game. So that'll be really exciting. More details on that will be coming out soon. We're going to post something like this in the tournament Discord, but stay tuned for details on that. But should be really exciting. Yeah, I think that's all I have on that. So yeah, I I don't know. GG's once again to Kipp. And anybody have any final thoughts before we close the last broadcast of the tournament?
I think D-Web should go ahead and close this out.
Hey, go for it.
Okay, the one thing I will say to piggyback on what Tree said about the in-person tournament coming up here in under a month at SGL, we're going to try to have some information out there. Basically, we really just need to know who all is going to go and participate. So if anyone is out, if you're listening and like be on the lookout for something in the SGJ score, but also like tell your friends, because I know of a good amount of people who will be there. I don't know if I know everyone. So yeah, just be on the lookout. Hopefully today or tomorrow we'll get something out there just as far as like tell us you want to play, stuff like that. But yeah, as far as this tournament, it's been great. Everyone has said their piece. So thank you all for watching. Hopefully we'll have a very fun multi-category tournament coming up here in a couple of weeks to enjoy myself the vanilla tournaments as well. Probably won't be playing, but we'll see. And yeah, until then, have a great Saturday out there, everyone, and we will see you next mission.